All right, good morning, EDU 576 classmates. It is my pleasure to introduce you to the Assistant Director of HR in the Norristown Area School District, Tanya Festa Piedra. Dear friend of mine, Tanya will always hold a special place in my heart because she's the one that hired me and brought me on here at the CCIU, and it's the best job that anyone could ever ask for. So Tanya is an outstanding HR professional, and we are really, really fortunate to have her with us here today. So Tanya, if it's all right with you, we're going to talk a little bit about evaluation and compensation. So the first question, thank you again for joining us.
Of course. Hello, everyone.
The first question is, please describe strategies and approaches related to performance evaluation that contribute to and enhance effective supervision.
Sure. So I think the thing about supervision people have to remember, it's not just checking off the box, just saying, okay, did the walkthrough have SLOs, did the observation? You really just have to kind of pinpoint the why you're doing that, making sure that you know why you're going in the classroom, making sure that the teachers are knowing what the end goal is for those students. So making sure that that is for, like, first and foremost, the top priority. Of course, you have to do all the forms, and you have to do the walkthroughs for non-tenured and tenured, and do the evaluations, record everything. But really just making sure that you're giving that feedback and you're going in frequently. So even if you did 4 walkthroughs, hey, do another one. If you see that person struggling, making sure you are taking the notes and understanding what they need. And really just, again, pulling it all back to that why. You're there for the students. Why are you doing this lesson for the student? Why are you at the differentiate it? So really just making sure that you're frequently in the classroom, and you're also giving the honest feedback, basically, is what you need to do. It's not that check off the box, like I said before. It's really making sure that at the end of the day, even on a district point of it, not just in the classroom point of it, that you have all the things recorded that you need, so that you do have to have those meetings with the teacher, or you do have to have, improvement plans, that you have all those notes and you really have detailed information to support the teachers.
Thank you. And I would echo, it is important to give that meaningful, effective, and real feedback, because at the end of the day, you want to help the professional grow and be the best that he or she can possibly be.
Correct.
Question 2, how do you align performance goals with district-wide comprehensive plans and building level plans? So like, how do you align goals with the goals of the building and the district?
Mm-hmm. So here in Norristown, we do a great job of doing district leadership a couple of times in the summer, and doing monthly meetings with everyone. So even though I'm in the admin building, I still connect with the principals still connect with the supervisors. So we really try to communicate as much as possible between the groups, understanding that, again, the why at the end of the day, we're here for the students, and we're always focusing on that. So a big part of what we did was we have 3 set goals for the district, and it's really, we align them to telling our story, with literacy of life, and then also community of learning. So just making sure that everything kind of ties in somewhere with one of those 3. And I think that's really a great thing to do. Is districts are huge. I mean, for people who don't know, we actually have 12 schools in our districts. People don't think of Norristown as that big. So sometimes you really do have to pinpoint at the top tier level, like we did 3 points that we have to focus on, and then it kind of just trickles down from there. So we really try to just kind of make sure that, okay, well, what are we doing today? Is it aligning within one of those 3 goals? Is it being communicated correctly? Is it able to, it might work here in the admin office, but does it really make sense to the teachers in the classroom? So really just trying to look at the big picture with everything when you're setting up your goals. And even if everything doesn't connect 100%, making sure that from 80 to 90% everything's connecting and you can work together to improve. An example of that is our district's really working on cultural proficiency right now, making sure that we're a very diverse community, and some of our teachers don't look like our students, or our students maybe not walk in and think that they can relate, but then understanding their families, understanding their culture, understanding their background, and not just in the sense of we eat this for dinner, but really just making sure that they are aligning with our students in some shape or form. So that's a big goal for us. And the way we do that is, again, at the top tier, we have monthly meetings to go over it. And then we bring our teacher leaders in on a monthly meetings as well. We have a consultant. And then from there, our PD days will always have something that reflects cultural proficiency. So that's just an example of where you have to start at the top, telling our story, and then figure out a way to break it down so that everyone gets the same message.
And I really appreciate the fact that you highlighted like really tight alignment, that everything is in alignment, everything is in one accord. And that's really important to have that pervasive message across your entire district and across all levels and paradigms of leadership. So that's really, really critical. Thank you.
And yeah, and just to add to that, it is sometimes difficult, but understanding that there is going to be sometimes a little bit of a disconnect, and being able to come back and kind of do a 360, like, okay, let's pause. Me and my director have a joke. We call it parking the car. You have to park the car, pull over, and then just reevaluate. And that's okay to do as well.
Yep, that's great. Thank you. How do you go about evaluating the effectiveness of a compensation program?
These next two questions are fun. So obviously compensation consists of not just salary, which people always think, but there's benefits, there's, time off, there's the PSERS, there's everything is tied into one. And people, I think, just think of like salary schedules. So really just what we try to do is just survey. I mean, if someone's leaving, we ask them, why are you leaving? What was the reasons? Was it salary? Was it support? Was it, whatever it might be? Because people don't think of compensation as support either, but a lot of people will say, it's great that I made this amount of money, but I didn't have resources that I needed. I didn't have the people there. So I think people, again, think of compensation as just that annual salary, which it's a lot tied into it, from the HR view at least. So really doing those surveys, exit surveys, but also when we hire people, we started doing surveys of asking why they were coming into the district. What were you looking for? Was it the salary? Was it the benefits? Was it, the PD that we do, our induction program, just everything that we're able to offer. Budgets do come into play a lot. So the more we can offer that is just more of a resource, and things like that really sometimes helps. So again, just getting the feedback from the staff and the employees who are here now and who are new, and also the ones that left, just making sure that we understand what they're looking for, and kind of going from there a little bit.
Great. Good points. And then my last question is, how do union contracts and negotiations play a role in developing a fair compensation package?
So these two questions tie in a little bit together. So they're very similar answers. I personally have never been part of a negotiation yet, so I'm pretty excited to get into that. But knowing, and from conversations and it's starting, and just every day, we have contracts, but still every day there's going to be questions about it. It was like, was that what the language meant? Is that not what the language meant? So I think that sometimes when the conversations between union and the district start, it's very, very far apart. Like we're in Pennsylvania and they're in California, basically, and you have to try to find a way to come to that happy medium. Again, with, like I said in the last question, there's budgets, and the unions just want what's best for their members, which is completely understandable. But I think that sometimes miss that point of understanding that, oh yeah, I want this, this, and this, but financially, and again, with 34% in PSERS and everything that comes with benefits and how much we actually pay for benefits, is sometimes lost. So same thing when I said that we have to look at compensation not just as salary. I think that sometimes also comes up in these negotiations, because again, people are like, well, I don't understand why we can't get this, this, and that. But there are those back things as well. Like I said, benefits and tuition reimbursement, all that stuff. So I think it's important to really have those honest conversations, and it's not going to be overnight. So if anyone in this class ever is part of negotiations, it's a long process. There's sometimes people who have contracts that aren't fully signed yet because of that reason. So you really just want to have those conversations, find out what's important to the members, find out what's important to them and what they're not going to move on at all, and try to find a balance in between the two. So, if I don't have a good example right now, but if we had a change in a contract where they were going from 15 credits for tuition to 9 credits in tuition. And there was like this little weird group of people in the gap where we were like, okay, we'll compromise at 12. So there's like an example there a little bit for tuition reimbursement. So really just being very open to conversations, understanding that it's going to be a little bit frustrating, but having people know that it's not an emotional thing, and just really just have your facts and have the information. And I think once you give people information and have the facts in front of them, it's an easier conversation. So just finding that happy medium.
So class, one of the reasons why we went over questions 3 and 4 is because when I was coming through with my admin program, we really didn't talk about the contract piece of it. And we really did not talk about the implications of all that. And I think that's really, really important for you to have an understanding of. You might have an understanding of it if you're a union rep or if you're active in your union and not yet an administrator yet. But when you come over into the administration side, you have to look at life from a different perspective as well. So it's always important to have empathy and full understanding of all perspectives. And then if you're in a charter school or a private school setting, you might not have any understanding of this at all. And so I think it's important to at least be aware of how contracts and contractual language and negotiations have a piece in all of that. And ultimately, you're working with a school board and you're working with people who care about a community, and you're ultimately, at the end of the day, trying to all work together to serve the needs of children and to make it all add up financially. So very, very important insights. Tanya, is there anything else that you would share with our future administrators in this course?
Nothing really, just understanding that
All right, I think Tanya froze, which is very unfortunate.
background story. So just what, to reiterate what you just said, you do have to see all parts of it. And it's great when you are the professional, you're in that world, and then you do move up. But it is a little bit different, and just understanding that you're going to have some, not roadblocks, I wouldn't say, but little hurdles you have to jump, just because you have to remember, I have that empathy for my staff, but at the same time, I have to think about, that as an admin now. So sometimes that's a little bit hard to switch off, but it's doable, and just work hard, and it's fun.
Yep, it is a fun field. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we are in the human resource business.
Yep.
The humans are the resources that make the difference in the lives of kids, not the programs. And it's important to always treat our human beings and our colleagues with the value and esteem that they so greatly deserve. So, Tanya, thank you for being a wonderful professional. Thank you for giving a few minutes of your time this morning. And it is greatly, greatly appreciated.
Well, thank you for having me. And I'll do it again if you want. Don't worry.
Outstanding. Thank you, Tanya. Have a wonderful day.
You as well. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.